All right, Brad. Thank you for joining me. Today we're here to talk about Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn. And I obviously you've played a ton of Souls games, and this is Souls-like, but it's got its own kind of thing going on as well. And I got to do a little preview with the developers a little while ago, and you got to watch some of the footage from the demo. So yeah, what are you thinking so far of how this game's looking?
So the thing that stands out in my mind the most, it may not be the most major thing, but it stands out to me the most out of all of this is just your movement now. Like jumping is something not in Souls like period too much right off the bat. And in this, it seems like weapons and like gunpowder is kind of like a big theme around this game of like what you use. And you have this like sweet double jump where you jump in the air and you throw like, I think, like some explosive under you, and it kind of lifts you up again.
Yeah, you double jump by just exploding gunpowder. Yeah,
I was like, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, so she is, her name is Nor, and she is a powder mage. And I feel like there was like some other like broader name for this genre. They're talking about it like being this sort of like untapped genre, of fantasy that nobody's really made a lot of games around. So yeah, it is a combination of you have your hatchet, and you have your gun, and then you have the gunpowder stuff, as you're saying, and then also I kind of compare this to God of War is your companion Enki. Who can do these teleport attacks and teleport you to different parts of the map as well.
Great comparison. It seems like very much like Atreus, how you handle them.
Yeah, because it's like it seems like they do have some independence, but then there's also some direction there. When I was rewatching the B-roll, I was noticing like there's like a combo thing on the left that kind of stacks up, and it's like noting like every attack that you do when you're in combat, and it's like, okay, it's like you did this, melee attack, and then you did teleport attack, and then you did this. And so it's interesting because they didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of that, but it almost feels like comboing or varying your attacks and doing finishers and stuff is sort of like what you do, to acquire, this game's version of Souls. Like
XP.
Because it's like all that adds up to this, overall like banks into this meter. And I didn't really see them how they use that meter, but it seems to be persistent from like one battle to the next.
Yeah, it seems like any action you get a certain amount of points or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I'm into. If it encourages you to like experiment more or do more in combat and you reward for it, I think that's great.
Yeah. And if we hadn't mentioned already, this is from A44 Games in New Zealand. They made Ashen. Did you play Ashen at all?
I reviewed it, yeah.
Nice,
I like Ashen. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It was a much more slower pace game than this, for sure.
Right. Yeah, this one has a lot more mobility, as you mentioned. There's some platforming in there. They talked about with the firearms, those require bullets, and axe blows restore ammo.
Okay.
So there's that back and forth, and then gun blows restore armor. So you really are encouraged to mix up both of those tools.
Yeah,
a lot.
That's smart. Yeah, I think that's a good idea to make you use your whole toolkit.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah, I'm into that.
It does make me wonder, like what your inventory upgrades and stuff are gonna be like. It's like, are you gonna get better hatchets? Or are you gonna get other weapons? They seem to be like, every time I've seen it, they seem to be focused on like these very particular, hatchet in right hand and gun in the left hand. Yeah,
they showed the footage I saw. The character, I think she pulled out like a bigger rifle, like a two-handed one. So maybe hopefully there'll be some more variety.
One of the mechanics is actually like removing armor from certain enemies. So they're showing like this one.
Yeah, it looks soldier. Like a meter, right? Is that the armor? You like break down this bar they have of meter or whatever, and it seemed to open them up for a strong attack. It looked like.
Yeah, and then you can see they'll glow when you can do finishing moves and stuff as well. One thing that was a little weird to me that it takes some getting used to, and I'm not sure I like it, is Enki has like this real deep voice.
Right. Yeah.
She's like, "Hey, how you doing?" It sounds like Knack. And so the funniest part to me was like when you're finishing off a fight or whatever, and then you just like shout, "Perfect!" I'm like, wait, are we playing Mortal Kombat now? What's happening?
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I mean, like, Inky is just like a weird thing on its own. It looks weird. I don't know if it's some cosmic horror kind of monster, but
it's got all kinds of stuff mixed up on it because it's got like these big, like straight, like goat horns, and then it looks fox-like overall. But then there's also feathers, bird feet, monkey paws. Like it's just a straight up mixed up chimera kind of thing.
Yeah. I saw it do a move I thought was really cool. Is it like held an enemy in place for a while for you? And I was like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I assume Inky will learn more new things as you go on, like your character. But that's just like a cool little thing I liked.
There is like a healing flask there. One thing that was interesting is they were fighting a bunch of like these undead knights in a town, and then once they kind of like cleared up that area, then you were able to like interact with the townsfolk, like the NPCs and stuff, and go into this coffee shop and trade and everything.
Like you liberated that area or something like that. Then NPCs started flooding. It kind of like appeared like a side quest or whatever.
You actually do get side quests from NPCs in town. They say the coffee shop owners, they give you intel. They like act as fast travel points, and I don't know if you noticed their character design is crazy. They just had like a bunch of arms. And when you first walk in, like the two arms like grab the mask and then hold the mask up there. So it's almost like they don't have a face, but they'll like pretend to have a face to make you more comfortable.
Yeah, it looks really cool and disturbing, but it was cool. I liked it.
And then they kind of like jumped over to like a different like port city kind of thing. There's like this kind of like open area where you're fighting this crazy undead thing that didn't really have a head. It's like spine like wrapped around its arm, and there's like a skull like around its elbow. There also, in addition to like the teleport attacks that he does, there'll be like you like unlock triangle points in the world to teleport to, and they said that kind of helps cut down on some of the backtracking. So like if you die and like you go back to a boss, and like you just teleport up there rather than having to go the full gauntlet.
Yeah, I really wonder like what the world layout will be like. If it'll be pretty wide. I don't expect it to be full open world at all, but I'm just wondering how big some of these zones are you explore.
Yeah, they said there's gonna be like 3 massive areas.
Okay.
Not like a seamless open world, but it's very, very large main paths and side areas. And they talked about the ability to, like if you come across like a boss or encounter that just seems like a bit too much from you, you could like, okay, I'll go do something else and I'll come back. So there is a little bit of freedom in how you take things on and explore.
Yeah.
They've got like their own god language in there. Like there's a whole thing with the story where like the gods have come back and wreak all this havoc and have brought the undead along with them. The fight that the armor guy at the end of the demo that they showed. The
boss fight?
Yeah,
that fight looked cool actually.
Yeah, they called that the god of knowledge.
Yeah, it was like this huge armored person, and you're fighting them, and they're like shooting some like sword beams out of the way. It looked like you had to dodge it a lot in ways, like jumping and jumping to the side, which I appreciated. And it was cool. It looked like you absorbed one of his attacks. I'm not exactly sure how they did it, but you end up using their attack against them too, like shooting laser beams essentially, or sword beams.
Yeah, they talked about parrying a lot. It's a pretty important part in that boss fight. Like you're saying, they talked to us about there's some heavy weapons. So there's a rifle that will interrupt attacks. There's kind of a bomb that lays out like area of effect fire, which I think is in that boss fight there as well. And they said just like overall, one of the things that they had learned from Ashen is that like combat needs to be based on having a good rhythm. So like just having like every hit feel good and And again, sort of that back and forth between the hatchet and the guns.
Yeah.
It's coming out early 2023. It's going to be on basically everything except for Switch, so it's going to be on Xbox One and PS4 as well.
Oh, okay.
So last gen too. So.
Got it. Yeah, I think it looked pretty good, Blood. It seemed like it had more of an identity to itself beyond the visuals than Ashen did, gameplay-wise. It seems like it has a lot more going on for it to set itself apart. It looked pretty sweet to me. I'm curious to check this out when it finally comes out.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm curious about some of the progression, but like they did seem to show like, you know, there's like kind of this caravan that sort of serves as your home base. And it, like I said, I'm really curious in like how that whole, I don't even know if you call it a combo meter, but it basically seems like a combo meter when
right,
you're fighting,
yeah,
like how that plays into things, because that's not usually a factor in Souls-likes. So
yeah, true. That's true. Yeah.
But looks interesting. Definitely want to keep my eye on it. But yeah, thanks for chatting.
Oh yeah.
And thanks everyone for watching. We're Easy Allies, and please like and subscribe to get more videos. We got more previews up recently, and we've got reviews and podcasts and all kinds of other things. And you can support us at patreon.com/easyallies. We are viewer supported, and we can use every dollar that somebody can spare to pitch in, and you get all kinds of different rewards there. So thanks, and look forward to Flintlock next year.